as fun as Rakan can be to watch, you do have to be careful with timings because you are squishier than most of your other engaged support pairings. So we'll see if Hong can play this correctly, because pretty clear man advantage for these set of grubs. Curious how aggressive Wegbo really want to get to try and stop the 3 grub stack, as Hong is going to immediately dive in with a great entrance, cancel out the Fate Sealed. Between rules was used, Flash has to come down as well, as Tien nearly finds that kill, and all of a sudden Wegbo can now look a lot more competitive for these grubs. Xiaohao is going to have to back off and give at least one of them over.
Well, I'm still going to like this trade for the time being.
Xiaohao for a potential dive, as he does take over to level 6, but has a really well-placed pink ward that might just save Breathe here. His flash is available. He's not backing off the turret, so I wonder if Xiaohao might just pull the trigger here, but Xiaohu is waiting not far away. This could be a double trap being set as Breathe now becomes the one baiting in EDG, gonna dash back in. Glacial Prison still gonna land despite the dash. Clean dive from Xiaohao, gives first blood over to EDG, but Xiaohu is hunting, trying to find a trade kill. Good dodge from Xiaohao though, keeping himself alive, gets the stun back down, and Xiaohu will find the trade, but at a cost. EDG with another impressive early start to a game. Toggle the fog there. Breathe, I think he might have spotted the jungle pet barely outside of the brush to avoid this dive, but we already got another dive brewed on the other side. Angel uses the Spirit Form. Fate Seal does buy him space, but he gets away from his turret. Q3 dashes back. Turret aggro doing a ton for EDG's mid laner. Xiaohu's taking up way too much of the turret. How is Angel alive? He's going to try and TP out. Hog going to cancel it. Tian going to flash over the wall, so they get the kill, but that was far from clean for Wegbo.
Okay, I want to give Angel his flowers there, as he has been, I think, one of the members of this team mechanically not up to snuff in some of the fights. That right there was a masterclass in the Yone. I think EDG are in a fantastic spot going up against Wegbo here.
That alternate universe you talked about all for EDG could have maybe been at the potential top of Group A. A lot of their games to start that discourse looked a lot like this, and you can already see just, you know, you can mention it as synergy, but the different level of approach to these games.
EDG, again, so many years now where they've kind of fallen off on the wayside from the top of the bracket.
Oh, ZDZ
just getting some damage.
Yeah, he's getting aggressive here. Forces Tien took completely out of his jungle with the Glacial Prison with the accelerated itemization of the Gwen. Nearly knocks Tien down. He has to commit the Crescent Guard. Got some more ultimates flying on out here as Light does commit the Chains of Corruption. Hung gets a big knockup. Solar Flare immediately cleansed by Light. Between Worlds is going to trap EDG in, and maybe they just bit off a little more they could chew. Inferno Bomb comes back down from On. Angel shows up to our party a bit late, holding on to that Fate Sealed side. The kill is a nice spot for Wegbo, but they're going to grab the second Drake. So despite all the scaling and ticking time bomb conversations we do have for Wegbo, they are steadily tracking towards what will potentially be a Dragon Soul here, as a mountain one as well.
From this Varus, EDG under no contest are just going to grab the Herald.
I mean, you called it out as a coveted objective on the map to really advance this next phase of the game, and really intriguing to see that Wegbo, the team we pushed as the ones that need to be more aggressive in this.
A little bit of damage onto Angel, but all of the carries are nowhere near this dragon right now for Wegbo.
Yeah, Wegbo done a really good job at separating the soul lanes from the rest of EDG. This Gwen and Yone are the pivotal start points and finishing points for EDG's composition as they're currently designed, but instead they're allowing for this these battle lines to be drawn across the river here. Dragon slowly getting taken down. You can see Angel and ZDZ both setting up camp to try and go for flanks, as Angel's going to jump in with that Spirit Form onto Tien. Xiaohu is waiting for him to return to go for 1v1 of his own. There the quickness comes out from Hong as he does get jumped on by ZDZ, but the Rakan is really slippery. Stun still lands. He has to quit the flash away from the Zenith Blade. So Key Summoner going to come off of Webo's side. Angel very low on the HP, and we're getting one of those 50-50 smite fights that you were talking about here, but it's just EDG that are getting bullied out of this pit. Wegbo are unrelenting in their quest for this Mountain Drake, and they're going to pick it up. Secured by Tien, and no reason to fight any further. But Mountain Soul now seems to be a big pressure point for EDG to deal with. They are starting to get some move with this Ziggs here, those satchel charges, and knocking down a mid-1 turret. Looking for Tien, who's trying to get back to cover his top laner. Wasn't ready for Xiaohao to be waiting up ahead of him, so let's flash out of the Xin Zhao, and this should be EDG taking a pretty big command of the map. It's going to be all tier 1 turrets knocked down with ease.
And how much more can they get from this? Xiaohu does have TP. He's going to get this mid-tier 1 with no one contesting him. You already see that through mid lane, Angel is cutting through the jungle after clearing this mid lane. And how much more can EDG get? Because they are starting to give up some on the top side. And right now, I would like to see them put a little bit more priority to not only stopping Xiaohu, but potentially setting up for that.
Only 30 seconds behind it, so this is going to be a map state where you have Otacon, Baron, and a Soul Point Dragon to play for. Unless EDG look for the fight now. There's a TP coming on the top side. There's the stuns getting chained together, the Crescent Guard, the Solar Flare, everything sectioning Tien off away from his team. He's trying to chase down a desperate kill, but the pick has been found. EDG sprung the trap and find themselves a very critical pick. The ultimate out here for Wegbo, and with them being in control of the Dragon stacking, I think that alone, is just going to push them off of this Dragon. So EDG back to making the smarter moves on the map here. They're going to shut off a pretty big win con for Wegbo.
If EDG really wants to, On can just throw a couple of ultimates and just get rid of minion waves, start clearing the opposite side. Wegbo maybe feeling a bit of desperation. The pings are going out. EDG want to try to push their advantage on the map, and Wegbo going for the Otacon. This will give them so many blood roses and try to spike them back in power against the EXP and Adaptive Force.
Yeah, but their mid and bot waves are not in favor of this play. This is going to cost them likely 2 tier 2 turrets. At the very least, this bottom one that ZZ and Angel are already whacking away at. EDG maybe not going to greed for this mid-tier 2 turret. Don't want to give away a threat of a potential Baron player. Maybe they'll look to potentially wrap on these resets.
They're too late.
A lot of pings going down to that mid-tier 2 wave. Yeah, I think they just had to go for this tier 2 turret, especially with the Zig Satchel charge.
If they wanted to contest Otacon, they would have had to wait a lot earlier. Again, you have 5 grubs. It is so easy. They still throw down the satchel.
They still get it.
That is an insane amount of blood roses. That is a pretty big waste, especially the fact that they couldn't get anything, but they are also corralling Wegbo around this mid lane wave. Wegbo are going to be forced out. ZDZ.
Nothing. ZDZ, is he just getting sold out by Xiaohu right now? The charm comes across. That is a huge pick for Wegbo. Away some big dragons away from Xiaohu. And EDG know it. The dragon being tended to very cautiously, below 3,500. The Chains of Corruption gonna land onto Wing, not find anybody else. Inferno Bomb comes across. Cien is very, very low, but he goes in, steals it, secures Mountain Soul for Wegbo Gaming, and now they can look to just pick off the stragglers. Flashes will not save you from the might of Breathe and Xiaohu as Wegbo Gaming explode in the very first big fight of the game to find a clean sweep of kills across the board.
And they might even just go to Baron after this. EDG collapse in the moment that they needed to come together and help their jungler secure the dragon. It's a mid-tier 1 falling. They're trying to delay the recall of On. He'll get away safely, but at what cost? EDG looked all over the map there in that fight, and I don't know what to say. The team fighting has not looked all that clean, especially for our topside duo.
These item breakpoints would be the more threatening team, but not with the team fighting they've had so far.
No, it has not been good. It potentially ZZ fall. Oh my god, Angel just barely doesn't go down.
Kong at least keeping Xiaohu at bay, but all of that poke was just to get these turrets down. So the Baron already cashing in pretty heavily for Wegbo Gaming. Grab a top and mid tier 2 turret, but they're looking for more here. They've got the waves to support it. Tien and Breathe are going to section off to go for a top tier 3, but look at the play from EDG. They're going to cut off the other side of the Serpent's Head. It's Angel going in with a Fate Seal. Xiaohu steps around it somehow. The General of Wegbo avoids the engage and sets up Breathe to just run amok in the backline. Angel down first. CDC needs to go huge with this Gwen, trying to heal through all the damage, but he can't do it through the full might of Wegbo Gaming. It took 2 fights to do it, but Wegbo are going to find themselves the 3-1 to start on the second round robin of Group B.
Xiaohu saw the calendar. He says, oh, it's only March? Well, guess what? I can still be the spring tiger here for the team. Wegbo are going to take a back-breaking win up against EDG, and like you said, see themselves 3-1 here in Group A.
It's another what-if scenario, it feels like, Ulk.
So for Team WE, what we're expecting here is, some ability to skirmish, but you lose on top side. At best, you could try to argue that mid lane is a skill matchup. Lanes of advantage, Bin having a small CS lead for himself. Same thing with Knight, like we said. These are, again, I think, going to about prescription. Karis now has to be so careful.
Yeah, I tried to trade in that minion wave, but I think Knight just might have the solo kill, and it's as anticlimactic as it can come there. One fleeting auto, no flashes burn, no fancy footwork.
I think he's just going straight towards the dragon. This is going to be a plate for free from Knight.
Maybe Vampire just trying to make sure Karis can get a couple of CS. I mean, he gets one caster minion, though, and Knight forces him onto another reset. BLG definitely win the trade of grubs as well as a team that's looking to pilot through solo lanes, getting ahead, or just strong lanes in general. 3 grubs for 1 dragon. Take that trade any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Maybe they actually contest them on all of these objectives. It takes way too long for Monkey, especially without his level 6. BLG are going to be walking with a level advantage, with an ultimate advantage, and now they're going to be able to win this. I mean, Wei, you have the smite. I feel like they're not comfortable because Knight does not have ultimate.
They did have ultimate advantage, though, on Wei. I mean, the Impale's available, but they're not going to over-aggress.
He's playing Renekton in top lane by himself. Oh, they make an engage on the On. That's free.
On. Yeah, that should be a catch. He does have the flash, though. Gonna get over the big wall, and Vampire nor Monkey are going to follow. It's actually Taeyun that takes charge here. You don't see that a lot from AD carries. The flash, Hurricane Shift, and Taeyun gets WE on the board.
Side of the map, On is also resetting. Bin is by himself. He has the ultimate. He has the flash. Can he make an outplay?
All right, Ben, that is the wrong way off rip. He's going to try and use the minion wave to slice and dice. Gets a big heal, but tanks turret aggro, and that is a gifted kill to Taeyun. So quietly, one of the more impressive players you pointed out.
These WE are making plays to get summoner spells, gain advantages, but I don't think they are progressing the game enough.
You know, 3 sides to a triangle, 3 mans on the dive against the cube. Does create enough space dashing out, but the Impale comes across. Does Elk have enough damage to just burn through this Abessa? It's taking a lot of time here. The flash is committed. Elk picks up the kill, but BLG on the wrong side. They got a teleport coming from behind here. Kara's trying to get in towards this Kaisa. Elk flashes back away, but the first kill comes across on to Knight. Teleports galore as Ben shows up to the party, pops his ult and says, boys, we're not done here. We're pushing for more here. I want kills on top of kills, and I don't care if the enemy's got my own dominance. Knocks down another kill. BLG narrowly come out in front on the skirmish.
After we grab these kills and win the fight, that should just be it. The fact they're able to grab all these kills is nice and definitely helps when, again, we're talking about Taeyun getting all of those resources for himself.
Gotta shout out Vampire there is... Oh, we...
Oh.
Okay, all right. Hey, in case you guys knew, we're on the LPL English broadcast where we watch Ben die into a 1v3. Again. Is it Groundhog Day? Anybody? Can I get some help?
I feel like we are in such a weird spot. Continuing trend for one of the best players and most consistent players that BLG has been able to helm. Now with 6 grubs, we didn't see it because we were in the replay. BLG will finally take the first turret of the game. Just barely missing out on Karis there from Wei.
Season 15 adaptation that a lot of teams aren't too keen on playing for, but it was actually Team WE in that bot side skirmish that grabbed the Feats of Warfare before BLG found that 4th kill, so it didn't.
He still does have Arcane, you know, the Arcane shifts, so should be able to get out of situations. Cube, however, does get caught, potentially.
Yep. Public Execution goes across the Between Worlds, but picks off away a very tanky Skarner. Knight in melee range, does have to create a bit of space here, but the Golden Hand keeps his shiny coat on, even through Vampires dive forward. And maybe I spoke too soon here as Monkey flies on in to find the kill on the Knight. And they might have just shattered the Golden Hand and get a second one as Wave falls next. Team WE springing onto the bot side of the map. They're going to get 2 kills in a turret.
It might be witchcraft here, but it's the right play from Team WE to make a response over onto Knight and Wei. Having been in an awkward position where now with no top tier one, he kind of has to push this and then drop and potentially go back, look out on the map. You're never really, doesn't seem like they're getting much push down in mid either. So a lot of emphasis on getting Knight his resources. Gonna see if that pays off for them. He's already has his individual lead versus Karis.
Now they're getting some pressure on Taeyun. Doesn't have as much cover in this mid lane, and the Ixtal's impact lands into the Impale. That is way too clean from Wei, who says bye-bye to Taeyun and bye-bye to all of the Tier 1 turrets. 6 grubs is a hell of a drug. All Dragon and Leaf.
Please tell me they get at least the top tier 1. See, Ezreal ultimate, nowhere near this dragon. Simply just a passing shot at Elk around the buffs of each jungle camp. Do make it a little easier to move through the jungle and to out towards these side lanes, so WE are making a concerted effort to try to get a little bit of gold onto onto one of the members of BLG. There has been a tendency so far in 2025 of On and Wei getting caught out. This might be it.
Stun and Impale, but On gets a big crash down. There's the hijacked Impale to hold Wei in place. Let Taeyu get a ton of Mystic shots out.
Oh,
Wei is going
Varus.
to barely slip out, but here comes Bin flying on in, but doesn't find anything because Elk gets the first kill. Flash forward from On, sets up the Killer Instinct. Vampire goes down next. Knight TP's in just to be with the squad as they turn their attention to the newly minted Atacon.
Maybe this is a much different fight, but instead it's going to be some summoner spells blown, 2 members going down, and an Otacon, a ruinous Otacon, giving themselves the increased amount of potency. It's not a ton, especially because it is Cloud, so some of the combat is a little bit lessened, but you do want to go, oh, Elk.
Oh,
That's Killer
Elk,
Instinct.
my friend. How long can you stay alive? The Killer Instinct, the flash. Elk gets out, and that's a big Impale for Wei to hold everybody under the tier 1 turret. Bin goes in, but here comes the golden left hand of the BLG prodigy. Knight drops the Between Worlds, forces everybody to bail out of the fight from Team WE, but Knight's not done. Flashing forward, gets another kill off a single auto. Taeyun and Karis have to fly for the hills as BLG exact their revenge in the mid lane.
Not pounce quick enough. They cannot find that kill with Elk. And after that, it just turns into an all-out win for BLG. It was some summoner spells blown from them, really relying again on the mechanical prowess of their team. It's BLG now. They'll use those 6 grubs, continue to take away all of the structures here. And with Baron on the table...
Jungle and just end up going with a back. Enough time has passed. The BLG are just going to take themselves another free dragon. That is going to be 3 Cloud Drakes in a row, and they'll actually end up on Soul Point with that one. And now we'll head back towards the Baron dance. Maybe Wade looks for an angle in here to try and punish some of these W members. On's going to flash Morgan a 2-man stun, but it's onto the tanks. Vampire headbutt and then pulverize his way back towards his Ezreal, who's starting to turn a ton of damage out. The Impale only going to find the mark of Monkey. Public Execution going to whiff from Cube, though. Can't find the engage. They do go on with the Glacial Prison, and now BLG starting to crumble. They need their soul lasers show up big, and boy, do Knight and Bin do just that. 2 ults dropped, and 3 members of WE drop off the map in an instant.
That should just be the Baron being ripped immediately here for BLG. Pounding gold lead up against Team WE here.
It's going to push itself over the nearly 10K mark at this point. So their eyes looking forward to the matchup ahead that would likely decide the top team in this group. Just going through the motions once more, knocking down these tier 2 turrets. They've got 6 grubs. They've got a Baron wave. It will really just take one more convincing fight. TP flank ward, but again, how do Team W even commit to it when they don't have any engage ultimates available? Well, maybe some Hex flashes. Cube's looking for a public execution angle, gets it onto Wei. They do have Karis flanking, hijacks in Between Worlds. Knight and Elk are going to exit stage right. They are going to be able to pick off Wei.
It's tough.
I mean, it's up against the Knight. In a matchup.
We said it was going to be difficult from the matchup, right? We said
in
draft that this was going to be something that he really needed to be creative, and we didn't see too much either between him or Monkey in the early game. So BLG now rushing through mid.
Impale lands onto Monkey. Sejuani's dead. Bin has a GA, so you know he's heading straight for the back line with no regard for his own safety. Tons of stuns landing, and this is going to be about as clean as it comes for BLG. The hijacked Impale means absolutely nothing. This is the difference between one of the top squads in the LPL versus the now 0-4 Team WE. BLG send themselves up for a big-time matchup against Wegbo for the top spot in Group A after a dominating win over WE.
So far, one of the few flawless teams here that we have in the LPL when it comes to their standings in groups.
I think Bin may be signaling that he's going to kind of handshake this lane with the Gwen and exacerbate his team fighting threat earlier on, right? You can become much more powerful on Rumble on less items. Any XP range on his top wave.
Look at what Wegbo are doing, though. They already have moved Breathe up to the top side here. What is the play? They're going to go for it. They have to go for this dive on top side. Bin's going to have access to level 6 as soon as this wave hits the turret. And if they can't get more from this, Kalista Renata are going to destroy this turret with Poppy.
All right, watch to see level 6 ticks over here for Bin. He's desperately trying to get it. Gets level 6, drops the equalizer. The stun still lands, and the crit shot from Light is enough. The barrier saves him from a trade. The dive, anything but clean, might be at the cost of Bin once more.
Knight can't shift on over. You are seeing that they're moving. Bin was one of the best members during the lane swaps of being able to hold his temper and also clear waves. Not a very big wave coming in from Wegbo, but a second one to follow. They're bringing 4 members again.
Here we go. Crescent Guard committed. Stun's going to land pretty clean this time around. Light does take the turret aggro, and Caster Curse nearly comes across as Breathe takes an errant turret shot. And now we have the most fun race in League of Legends. No, I'm not talking about Nunu's drifting across the map at light speed. It's breaking down turrets. Who wants that coveted feat of strength? It's going to be Wegbo coming out on top.
Wow, 4 people constantly just to try to grab first turret. It's a lot of great local gold going over. It's about 1,000 split between Breathe and Tien. We'll see if they're able to utilize this in a more meaningful manner. But a single kill after this from Wegbo will give them also the entirety of feats of strength and give them some of that early game power. If you look at that gold, it is our 2 AD carries, Elk and Light, and that's only going to be furthermore. BLG tried to make a play into Xiaohu. That will be his flash and his teleport invested, but it's going to be 6 grubs going over to Wegbo.
Wow.
And who is matching on side lanes versus this Taliyah, versus this Gwen? Now with Gwen having an exhaust as we get further into the game, she's only going to get more and more potent throughout this. So more of a bit of a timer being placed on Billy. Can they match on the side lanes, and can they stack enough dragons quick enough in this game? I don't think they're mounting to an overwhelming gold lead. They're actually down versus their opponents.
Knights, the golden left hand of the BLG Empire. Maybe under threat here. Gun is committed very long to try to find this pick onto him. They get the flash out. Knight gets the safety teleport coming through. This has been maybe the first big fight of the game coming across, but Xiaohu uses a really clutch Weaver's Wall on his cutoff. Flashes from both junglers as Tien tries to get safety to Crescent Guard, buying him some space. Hostile takeover, gonna find its mark and slow up both Tien and Xiaohu. It's the Renata again from On to set up BLG for 2 critical kills.
With all 4 members fully traded for 2 kills and a single turret. But in my mind, you've lost now your summoner spells on the flash. Knight is going to be able to get out of this one, but there is no flash from Knight, no flash from Wei. Hey, Bin's coming though.
Side. Bin will be here soon. Good call out there, Alkin. They have no idea where BLG can really spring from. They're trying to be as cautious as possible. Equalizer down. Tien taking a ton more damage. Good Crescent Guard though. Knocks Wei away from him. Hong gets a 2-man Pop Blossom, but no kills to be found off the back end of that. In goes the between worlds, but Knight goes in to death here. Big kill picked up. Curtain call coming out from Light. Can he find the shots onto Bin? No. It should buy enough space for the re-engage from Wegbo onto Elk, who is left all alone towards the bot side. Wegbo have revenge on their mind, and this dragon fight may just give them a critical juncture.
Yeah, we didn't even have On using the ultimate. There were multiple moments there where I think there was a Renata hostile takeover to potentially change the fight. We have to go right through this replay right now, and it's thwarted. Oh, Bin. He has the support right next to him.
He wants the fight. He wants it all with the Renata there. And On changes the kill, flips the script.
Oh, Wei's here. Are they going to make a steal? No way.
Oh my god, I don't know if this dragon is theirs. Tien does get the flash. There's the hostile takeover. Light gets out of the pit though, flashes away from Wei, gets the deadly flourish on the way out here. Wegbo not being punished too heavily till Tien drops. And next is going to be Xiaohu. There's no way out of this pit but the gray screen. The golden left hand of BLG has himself a double up.
I can't believe it. BLG are somehow able to force after the dragon. Tien does end up grabbing this, but look at where the map state is right now. BLG looking to make their way. Oh, Bin just looks mad, bro.
You are
crazy,
He's
like, I'm not
man.
giving away freebies.
He got that equalizer right off cooldown and express shipped it right to the face of Hong. Xiaohu or Light, they really need to play from a distance. I did see in the pip there that we saw On nearly get picked off. Does have to burn the flash. Wegbo grabbed the Rift Herald as we join back to live. BLG posturing to try and punish.
But somehow find themselves 50, like almost 2,000 gold down here, but their team that I think has the stronger map. Oh, nice. Grabbing themselves a turret.
Yeah, Light and Hong have no way to get out. The Pop Blossom used defensively. Hostile takeover does come across as Tien is cut off from his own teammate's Weaver's Wall, trying to find the engage, but it's Wei to fall first. Curtain Call needs to find its marks, get these big slows. Knight shakes all 4 chunks. But Wegbo don't want to overchase. They've got a Rift Herald and a ton of turret real estate to try and knock down.
what are BLG doing? They're taking so many fast plays to just try to, hey, let's get the turret, and oh, let's try to over-access. Let's get one more play, one more kill. And that is becoming more and more difficult.
As Wegbo continue to try and redefine the history books of this matchup, have not been able to get a win over BLG in any series, but a best of one could be their position. Keepers aren't going to help. That's a great Weaver's Wall from Xiao, who denies all entry to this Drake pit, and we are even up at 2 Drakes apiece.
6 grubs. They're going to even able to reset some of their members and send them into this mid lane. I think they have to be a little bit careful, though. If Bin can stall them, if Wegbo find a spot here, there is an opening to go for an Otacon. See that Hung is looking, does have the flash with that ultimate available.
Especially in the LPL.
They know they're hitting.
Now BLG know it's being taken with Light stepping out towards that minion wave, but it's too late. This Otacon is going to go down. A huge XP gain going to come from Wegbo with that Pop Blossom, opening up the curtain call. Weaver's Wall to section off some of these BLG members. All this you need to look forward to if you're a Wegbo fan, because the dance is going to come towards Baron, and maybe this is the fight we are looking for between the 2 tides of the LPL, and Owen is already sectioned off. The Fate's Call does save him. Hong gets the Pop Blossom onto 2, but Elk is untouched, starting to reel forward, but the crit shots to the face knock him down. Breathe finds Elk, Owen falls next. It's a catastrophe as Wegbo find a 3-0 sweep to open this game up, looking to finally beat their bigger brother.
Hey, we thought it was Hong that was going to be the problem, but instead On gets caught out in the middle of the river, gives over the Baron to Wegbo. And hey, there's a dragon spawning, but I just don't think it's going to matter at this point. And finding the rest, but even this is such an overextension. Elk and On put the team in a jeopardized spot and potentially give up their flawless record here in this Group A.
Knight bailing out to try and go for a Nico support. It's been scrappy and questionable from BLG so far, and now they're starting to really reel. They need to find an engage angle fast and try and utilize their Callista and this Aurora, but it's just Wegbo. They're putting their foot down to the pedal as Wei goes down next. Hostile takeover does hit onto many. Hong gonna fall first, but Elk has not arrived to the fight just yet. Between Worlds gonna force Xiaohu to flash back to safety, but Nai will not be saved by the bailout. Tian finds the first kill. Bin is running away from Breathe. Here it comes. Wegbo have been biding their time. Loss after loss, but Split 2 is a new beginning. Wegbo Gaming are gonna knock BLG out of their perfect start to Group A.
And they're gonna go 4-1. The tiebreakers are gonna have to go to game time. Wegbo finally find the win here. And goddamn, we said this game was gonna be the most hyped of the night.
Yeah, you're really just looking at the Galio to be one of the main tools that will try and create space if WE ever push the gas pedal forward in terms of engage.
Particularly mobile in these early stages of the game. Monkey going to continue pressing this advantage. They're just trying to make this Lilia as uncomfortable as possible. See if they can play around here. Hex Flash over the wall. Wink might be in trouble. Has to flash. Dang.
Forced to flash, but he goes down with the crash down. On now backing up the rest of EDG and Vampire. Now that he's down to flash, they just gifted first blood over to the Kaisa. 0-4 in the group stage round. You can't just play a passive game, and to that I can kind of respect what they're trying to do.
I can respect that they're trying to push the advantage, and Lily a pretty good champion to try push that advantage into. It's just they're not understanding the times when you can go. There's so much pressure here, as this is a weird dive out of EDG in the bot lane. I'm not sure that one's gonna work out for them either. And we can't exactly absolve either of these teams. Absolutely, and it's not like this composition is gonna make team fighting particularly tricky. You've got a ton of really good team fighting tools available to you. It's very much going to be down to the execution, not the draft, that will lose these team fights for WE. Yeah, the fact that they're actually going to be able to pick themselves up this Drake as well. This has been an impressive early game in terms of objective control from Monkey. Like to have that flash to be able to reposition mid-team fight, keep yourself safe, and it looks like this first tower is going to go over to WE. This is a much better team fight, a much better early game for them.
Yeah, like you said, you know, giving over first blood to Kaisa, not ideal in the case of WE, but you've been able to bounce back by giving Taeyun a ton of plates solo, and then a full turret.
Yep.
Not totally solo, but there's good quick thinking there from the Mbessa. Down an ultimate.
Oh no.
He's gonna play in Cube's face just to see if he can bait in for a Xiao Hao collapse. Cube is still standing his ground. He's going to try to trade at least one kill back. And the flash from Cube's Rumble will at least silence ZDZ for now. But that's a nice kill picked up for Xiaohao's Lilia.
Take a kill for himself as well. Really well executed right here. Out of the bottom team in this group.
Yeah, I mean, WE are really throwing every punch they've got in the book. The early game from WE continuing to be solid.
Yeah, it really has been, but again, it's not been the big issue for them. Over-aggression in the early game, potentially, but team fights is where it's been really, really tricky.
And that's always an advantage that you can use to just drive home that Rift Herald opportunity for yourselves.
Absolutely, and it is going to be very much on these junglers to start a bit of these fights to really initiate things. Unfortunately, Vampire going to miss that hook, and now might be caught out here.
Forced to flash away. The Magnetstorm and On dives right behind Vampire. Now they have to reposition, but here comes Angel with the hero's entrance. Buys some time. Wink manages to limp away. Monkey falls, and Karis and Taeyun have lost their front line, so they don't have the space to put in the damage. And just like that, Bloxer, our concerns, our doubts have come back to haunt WE again.
End up losing out onto this one, and this is a fight that WE wanted to take. They're in a stronger position than their opponents at the moment, pushing on towards this bottom lane one. Top not got any push going through at the moment, but at least establishing themselves control around this bottom side is going to help for this upcoming Drake fight. 50 seconds until that one, and key ultis are back up and available for both of these teams. The Drake pit because of this play, and it is going to be started up. Do you want to flip it though? I don't think so.
WE, this could be defining not just the game, but their placement in this group. Ooh. EDG immediately going in. Xiaohao flash Q for the Lilting Lullaby, forces Vampire out. Not the ideal. And Monkey, he steals it. That's 3 dragons now for WE now. They just have to kite on back and play for their carries. The hero's entrance goes in, but a massive Magnetstorm from Wig, and On finds his moment. They don't need a damn dragon. EDG are just better.
This is so quintessential of both of these teams. EDG flips it, gets the Drake stolen, doesn't matter, team fight win for them, and Wink, what a Magnetstorm that was. Just gorgeous. Off the back of a team fight that looked like it was not going to go so well into their favor. WE, they cannot team fight. I'm sorry, at this point you can just say it straight up. This is not a team that is able to team fight. See in close quarters like this. And let's see.
They rushed the Otacon.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? So, all right, Bloxer, I have a proposal.
Able to execute well onto them. I think it's because if you're trying to team fight on a good team fighting composition, you're bad at it. It's at least easier than with a poor team fight comp. But still, it's just making these games.
I mean, like we said before, if WE can actually tie this up, then there's the potential for an additional tiebreaker game. That
hang on.
Oh, ZDZ might be caught out. Here comes a hero and Angel. ZDZ is popped by the True Shot Barrage. On joins the fight, but the Equalizer, he's got to dance around it. Here comes Wink, another massive Magnetstorm. Angel tries to assist, but Xiaohao and On can't get into the fight. On survives, but just before he takes down Taeyun in the backside, it actually was cares, because Taeyun is still alive. He's popping off the Ezreal, and this time, WE, can they protect him? No, but he's left alone. Xiaohao locks him down alongside the rest of EDG, and that was probably the best fight that WE could have hoped for. And it just isn't enough.
No, the golden right there out of Zhao, who just keeps him alive long enough that this fight just flips once again. It's another aggressive play out of WE. They've been the one pulling the trigger in basically walking in blind to this one. Not a great situation for this composition.
On doesn't have summoner spells for this fight, but Xiaohao does have flash. 4K, Monkey, multi-man impale, but is anyone there? Nice equalizer from Cube, and now Xiaohao's in a world of trouble, but the re-engage from ZDZ, and Angel with the hero's entrance at least evens up the fight. 1 for 1, but no jungler for WE. They cannot contest the Baron, but at least they pushed EDG off the pit. A lot more than what we were getting out of them in the first split. one of the more non-existent teams now this time, showing a lot more fight, a lot more gumption. Baron going down to 2K. Monkey, can he make it again? No, not this time. It is secured by Xiaohao. Wink making sure that Vampire cannot get far as On layers down the Cathian Rain. Monkey getting slept by the Lilting Lullaby. On is still on the hunt, on the pursuit, getting zoned, getting a little too close to the double marksman, and a good equalizer from Cube.
Now in EDG's back pockets, and it's going to be up to Monkey for another steal. He has vision at least. I really don't think he's going to be able to grab this one, and indeed, Monkey agrees, is just going to back off, and so it's another Drake into the back pockets of EDG.
WE, I mean, I think Monkey just realized that if he had thrown his life away just for an Infernal Soul, with EDG, Baron-empowered minions pouring in through multiple lanes, it could have just been the end of the game. You have Cube trying to push through on the top side and create some split push pressure and at least equalize the amount of turret destruction that EDG are being able to will for themselves in this Baron's push. Angel is trying to lurk around for a flank, and they spotted him out, but they haven't spotted out ZDZ, so a double flank. Another Magnet Storm running to the front line. Taeyun and Karis have distanced themselves well. Wing falls. Angel tries to follow up. ZDZ is there. On flashes it away, trying to distance himself out. Angel buys enough time with the taunt into the stasis, but it still could look good for WE, but they're losing health bars on both of their damage dealers. Karis and Taeyun forced to flee. Cube survives alongside his double marksman, but EDG have done enough damage to secure themselves another dragon.
Drake right now, but double teleports right here out of WE. I think they potentially wanted to try play around that Drake. It just falls way too fast. Can he carry his team through this fight? Can Monkey potentially steal away this Baron as well? It's going fast.
EDG are trying to drop it. Baron fully resets. Taeyun, no summoner spells available, so he has to be precise. Arcane shifts away from ZDZ's engage. Here comes Angel with the hero's entrance as well. ZDZ is sectioned off. Taeyun is playing out of his mind. He finds On. Wait a minute. That's a main damage dealer gone from EDG. Xiaohao could be the next one to fall. Forced to retreat. And WE find that second win to push themselves through such a difficult 38-minute banger. But it's enough for WE to secure the Baron for themselves, unless Xiaohao has another thing to say about it. He tags Monkey, tries to get in range. 6800. Monkey secures the Baron. Xiaohao forced to pop the stasis. Was this the throw from EDG? It comes down to ZDZ and Angel, but I don't think these are the type of carries that can eliminate the rest of WE. They walk away safely. The Baron is secured for themselves, and suddenly Bloxer, they're back in the game.
And the thing with WE's composition is that it has such great poke as well, so you're never really going into these team fights as EDG on full HP.
Summoner spells up so they can play with a little bit more freedom, but Wink has been chunked out by the massive poke, and Monkey is thinking about looking for an engage right now. The flash impale.
He gets it!
He tried to flash it, but he still got snagged. EDG, their AD carry's gone. Wink tries to bail his AD carry out. ZDZ's trying to go crazy into the backline, trying to look for that Ambessa montage, but he just goes down. Xiaohao, the only member alive. We got On limping away as well, but they've lost two crucial frontline members in ZDZ and Wink.
To be early on, but just hasn't been able to play out team fights well enough. Well, no more apparently in this game with the Skarner, one of the strongest jungle picks we've seen. They are pushing through this base right now for EDG. If they go for the end, I think that's a bit of a mistake. Still though, 20 seconds on ZDZ.
It's Infernal Soul. Carefully, they could cost everything. Xiaohao is just into the pit. Are we gonna test it like this?
Wait, what?
But Taeyun somehow is the one that secures the Infernal Soul. Oh my goodness, this game is delivering on just the ridiculousness factor. WE somehow managing to limp away from the Infernal Soul in a position that we thought they didn't deserve to be in for quite some time, but now they are just one more good fight away from being able to close this game out, but rightfully so, EDG could also flip the script despite being down an Infernal Soul. It all comes down to teamfight execution as the Equalizer forces EDG away from the mid lane. Angel is that... Oh, Xiaohao tries to go in. Lilting Lullaby immediately cleansed on a Taeyun, so he's fine. EDG trying to throw down the engage. Massive hero's entrance. The Impale's gonna buy some time. Xiaohao is trying to find Taeyun into the backline. On has already fallen. EDG, it's coming down to Xiaohao. Can he ramp up? No, he can't. Taeyun still survives. And that's the story, folks. Persistence and endurance. The name of the game for WE. You may have failed 4 times, but that 5th game is yours to claim. They will even the score of the group standings. standings, and that 3rd seed match has become all the more interesting here, Bloxer.
Oh, it felt like W were down and out during the early mid-game, but all of a sudden, EDG, they're just not able to find the fight. Monkey had such an impressive game right there, and that final fight came off the back of EDG trying to get aggressive, trying to make that big fight work.
They do not want to forfeit any chances for a tie at 1st seed. They want to make sure and remind the rest of the world. They want to let the rest of the league know. Now, Xiaohao has an opportunity to make Bin's day very sad, since Wei had just taken a base, is way too far. Bin is going to look for the leap strike onto the ward. Waiting to flash.
The
prediction
Yo!
from Xiaohao! But the counter strike isn't enough to deflect
Wait,
the
oh,
physical
no!
damage. Okay! First blood ends up going to ZDZ, but Bin trades one back. Could be exposed. Wink. Flash back available. But because Xiaohao shows himself on the bottom side, it's easy enough for Wei to just go for the first round of grubs uncontested.
Xiaohao spent an inordinate amount of time down in this bottom side of the map, and it hasn't really led to anything yet.
Confident in that counter pick for themselves to at least give them the edge and making that collapse happen first on whatever side lane BLG are trying to leverage here. Xiaohao once again showing up.
Ooh.
There's Wink with the engage, knowing that On cannot escape. Oh, but they got closed by the clone. But it's still enough. On cannot escape, and Fate's call just not up in time for Elk to salvage his Nico.
That's right.
Yep.
Not the situation that you want to be in, but as we've been talking about, Drake is still available, and now a little bit of a flank right here from Knight. Does he hit the charm? He does hit the charm. It's only on to Wink. Still, they're able to get that kill initially. Teleport coming in. Great ult!
Oh, but Angel gets immediately stacked by the Impale, but Wei is sectioned off for the rest of the team because everyone had to bail. And now a Realm Warp from Angel is going to threaten a multi-man collapse on Pop Blossom. Good way to break open the fight, and On is just too close to Knight and Elk's hands. Angel trades one back. Oh my god, Elk got popped too by Angel's Rise, and somehow EDG are able to equalize. Xiaohao, Zyra plants.
They then get chased down, which makes it look so much worse in hindsight, right? That they could have gone in.
Oh, that's a really nice Stranglethorn. It breaks open the group of BLG, but they manage to skirt their way around the zone of threat right there. But they're forced to concede the last grub. At least, you know, being able to match them. I'm just curious at how well EDG are able to actually take a very, very small, minute lead like this and actually break it open against BLG of all teams.
Oh!
As this, I mean,
okay,
great dive
that's
on
good.
On. Two-man Impale. Oh, boy. I mean, that's the power of Skarner right there. You cannot disrespect it like that, especially if you're down summoner spells. Good night, Angel. And Wink getting caught up in the fray like that. BLG able to fight on back in this 12-minute banger and said, yeah, let me stun on you for a quick second. Oh wait, you're Skarner. That's right. I don't have flash. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I've made a bad decision here.
Okay. Either way, we're going to have a look top lane. Angel right now, once again, going to be the focus here of BLG.
Pop Blossom on a flashless Rise. Pretty darn easy to pull off, and even before the teleport comes through from ZDZ, BLG immediately walk away.
Kind of trying to push right here on Tonight, but just isn't stronger in this situation, and the map continues to crumble right here for EDG. BLG, hang on, Knight. I don't know that you can kill this.
Yeah,
Now are beginning to push around this Herald, getting involved in this mid lane. You don't want to be using that ulti pre-team fight just for yourself. That hurts so bad.
yeah. I mean, Angel didn't want to have to burn the flash in Bin's face. Not really a way that EDG can stop us on this Rift Herald play now.
Exactly, and it means that the Rift Herald is going to be picked up right here by BLG. They've taken out the outer towers in both the top and the bottom lane, so this one's going to be destined for the mid lane. You can crack that one open too. They ended up losing that game up against Wegbo. Wegbo, though, overall a much more solid team than EDG. And EDG right now, they're really struggling to find their ways into these fights.
Yeah, and BLG are just relentless with the pressure when it comes to map play. On, just forcing the Pop Blossom to make sure that EDG cannot step up and defend the tier 1 from falling. The Impale snags Angel, still's got a flash. And the phase rush movement speed allows him to speed away.
Right now is pick up this top lane tier 1. It's something, it's a little bit of an injection of gold. But this game very much in the favor of BLG. A little bit of a dive right there onto Knight, takes a little chunk of damage, but still this mid lane tower is very healthy. Xiaohao is in the area, he can try for the steal, but I think it's just going way too fast.
I'm curious what they're waiting for. since it
written
didn't
invitation.
few spears into Wink, and then suddenly yoink, massive rend, and it was just like that's a lot of damage. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! On!
Yeah, just gonna get caught out right there, and that's gonna make this Atacon play that much easier. No,
on this Otacon, it's no longer an objective that you just want to start immediately ripping to force the enemy team to come through. You want to have a decent advantage. Xiaohao might be compromised here, getting stunned up, flashing away from, but the Impale still lands true. Stranglethorn gets a decent amount of damage, but the Pop Blossom from On should seal the deal for EDG's fate. ZDZ TP'd in, but now has to slice and dice himself back to safety. Elk now on the forefront trying to chase after On's Ezreal, and Bin trying to flash forward and land that killing blow. Not going to be quite the death stroke for EDG to fall, but it is enough pressure for them to retreat back into the safety of their quadrant.
Team fight engagement where EDG, they think they found the angle, but there's just so much AoE CC that's able to be put down. On specifically just completely wrecks the team fight for EDG. And yeah, just again and again, EDG, they try for something and BLG counter. Fully ready to go in, because for the minute he's got himself a Seeker's Arm card. Clearly wants to jump in, and then Golden doesn't particularly feel comfortable. Oh, on!
Oh, on! Massive Pop Blossom Flash combined with the Proto Belt. The Stranglethorns will slow down the fight for now, but here comes Bin, ready to turn up the heat. ZDZ onto the backline, trying to make sure that Elk doesn't get to play the game, but it's ZDZ whose time has run out, and it's game over for him. Bin pops the stasis just to make sure that EDG can't get that last sliver of damage, and BLG don't drop a single man before coming up short in Game 5. Out of Split 1, BLG showing a lot of inconsistencies in their play. On was a major person that we looked at a lot.
It felt like they just couldn't get anything done. But in this situation, versus a team as good as BLG, it's really obvious, as we are going to jump back onto the Rift. It was only a short pause. Hopefully it was just, quickly done. Nothing that's going to happen again. Oh my
We're
God,
praying for, and Bin, hang on. Free item Bin has come online. He might be in trouble, but just a quick leap strike away. Still in turret range. Uh-oh, Bin forced the flash. Oh, Xiaohao really wants it. Bin is walking back forward for it. Gets the grass proc in the spine.
Wait, he gets the kill. What?
Oh my God. Okay. He trades 1 for 1. He makes it worth it. And on the Pop Blossom, so awesome as always. EDG just crumbling under the pressure of BLG. Losing out on the Zyra. Knight flying forward with the flash. Gets rooted down by Angel, but still avoids the overload on the back end of it. Inhibitor falls, and BLG get what they came for.
Yeah, they managed to crack the base open right here. It's not quite the Bin play that I'd been hoping for, the 1 for 1, but he just realizes all of a sudden, I'm not walking away from this one. And Xiaohao just feels way too much pressure, you have to imagine, needing to get that kill, flashing forwards, flashing towards a Jax, very rarely a good idea.
He has been decisive, and he has been quick on the picks whenever he finds his opportunity.
Bin flank.
On once again, Pop Blossom right into the backline, and as you called it, Bloxer, the Bin flank slays the smackdown with the lamppost, and instantaneously 3 members from EDG's squad are ripped to shreds. Angel left alone, pops the stasis. They've got a ramping turret for at least a third unofficial man for EDG in this dive, but it's not gonna be enough. It doesn't matter. ZDZ just falling by the wayside, and that turret just did not do enough, unfortunately, for EDG. 21-7, 64,000 to 54,000. This was a BLG statement win. Put it in the books. They're gonna match Wegbo Gaming in the game score, and BLG close out against EDG.
I worry a little bit, actually, for Wegbo that they might run out of damage if they're not ahead in this situation. I mean, they've got okay amounts of poke, but really any of these champions falling behind isn't going to be able to do the same that WE can.
Hit and WE, I questioned it. I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with a game like that. They're going to get the first dragon of the game.
Just steps up right here. Tian taking some wolves, not going to be able to get involved in this one for a couple more seconds still. A bit more space being bought. Vampire jumps in.
I mean, Wegbo are actually delaying the dragon, but they want to turn onto it. Realm Warp coming in from Xiaohu to rejoin the fight. Karis steps up, buys space, but the dragon resets, and now Tien might be looking for a vault breaker. Doesn't quite connect. Good stun by Vampire.
Wait,
Stuns
dead.
Tien, and he goes way too deep. Oh, Wegbo thought they could follow up, but the Vi is just a little too far forward, and First Blood goes over to WE. He's Nefiri, trying to give him the keys to the entire rift, and so far, that advantage is working in the hands of what WE want to accomplish.
Absolutely is. Monkey going to be able to pick up 2 of these grubs right now. Breathe stepping up does at least stop the third from going down, but now Breathe going to take a decent chunk of damage off of Cube. Not going to be killed, Cassante way too tanky for that, but at least his top laner arriving means that it is going to be all 3 of these initial grubs going over to WE.
With these piercing arrows is not going to do as much as it might be able to. Xiaohu throws down the Rune Prison onto Karis, forces him to keep at bay. And they're trying to lead the engage. Hong goes in with the Pulverize. Karis joins the fight with the hero's entrance. Multiple grubs being fought over for. They turn right onto Breathe, but he uses the all-out to bring Karis on closer. Forces the flash out. Tien goes in, tries to gang up on the Galio, and Monkey's in trouble on the Nefiri, and Breathe tries to force the dogs away. Realm Warp from Xiaohu tries to close the distance against Cube and the rest of the WE squad, but they're able to survive.
Replay, it'll be really interesting to see where all of the damage went, because you can see lots of tools used out of both of these teams. Nobody really able to actually deal the damage that needed. As you highlighted, Light misses the Chains of the Corruption before the team fight even starts.
Like WE were, oh no, Cube, I mean, he's got a flash, but Tien has an ultimate. I don't think you're escaping this one at all. He flashes in the bush, tries to make some distance here, but Rune Prison, Wall Breaker, there's the cease and desist, and yeah, I mean, unfortunate for Cube. That is out of bounds for you on the top lane, buddy.
Overall, Monkey once again going to get on top of this dragon. Should be able to pick this one up nice and easily without Tien in the area. And that is something, at least. WE, they're not massively behind. It's just, with the way this team struggles in the team fight, it feels like they need massive advantages to be able to feel like they're in a good spot in a game.
Yeah, or they need to land some massive CC miracle engages. Look for a teleport. Wegbo are up in gold. They should feel advantageous to taking a fight here.
There's a huge flank ward for him if he wants it. Instead, just going to teleport in straight up, try front to back it.
Okay, Hong leads the charge. Monkey had already secured the Herald, but down goes Vampire. Not a chance to really get a counter engage off, and now Karis might just give his life to die, using the phase rush to try and get an away, but Wegbo are able to lock him down, and here comes the Realm Warp. Oh, jump scare, 4 members surprising WE on their route of escape, and they're gonna put the dog down. Cube will fall next, and only a cow is the price that Wegbo have to pay to destroy WE completely. Is Taeyun, unfortunate brother, not able to escape this time, as Breathe is going to keep him in range for Xiaohu to clean up another kill.
Yeah, unfortunate right here. The fight just goes wrong immediately, and it keeps on happening. WE keep putting themselves into terrible positions. When we jump into the replay, we can have a look at the fact that they are pincering themselves in. They are just constantly getting squished into these team fights.
That's the reality, and a lot of the times WE are playing retreat mode after an objective instead of being able to force something that they want to actually fight.
Exactly. They're not able to find ways to start team fights off well enough to then be able to play them out in the way that their composition demands. Monkey actually playing very aggressive right here. He's got plenty to dodge away with, but Tian's about to jump over the wall. Does he get to the blast cone? Yes. Vi's still gonna follow him. Hang on. What is this?
Hero's entrance. Karis should buy some time, but the rest of Wegbo Gamer are going to follow their captain fearlessly into the pit. They do away Karis. Monkey's able to get over the wall. Does he get to live for his sins? Tien is still trying to close the distance against him, but another frontline member will fall. This is so
yikes. Damage onto this bottom lane tier 1 tower. That will be a nice injection of gold for everybody. It's something, but still, was it worth it? Let's have a play of was it worth it. You get chickens. Your opponents get Atakan.
How can I put this politely? It's like watching one of those films that is just like so bad that it's amazing.
Oh man, the cinema of this is real. This is hilarious to watch, although I don't think anybody ever wants their League of Legends described as hilarious. Taeyun just dies there, actually.
Yep.
And they're going to be able to
Override
just keep
Flash.
pushing this one forwards. Yeah, Wegbo, they are in complete control of this game. Going to be able to crack open the base right here, 22 minutes into the game. I think they're going to be able to grab this inhibitor as well. WE, they're just not in a strong position at all right now. Surely they're thinking about the tiebreaker coming up.
The Realm Warp over. I mean, this is peak Rise side lane gameplay when you're able to kill an entire line of structures in one lane, immediately Realm Warp the minion wave over to the next lane to just make the base destruction that much faster. Wegbo.
Another tower hill. WE, they're just collapsing.
Yeah. This has been very clinical from Wegbo Gaming, and definitely something you are relieved to see as a Wegbo Gaming fan.
The LPL as Wegbo, they're going to start themselves up the Baron right here. WE are nowhere to be found. They can potentially try for a fight after this one, but right now Breathe just going to be playing bodyguard.
It's all about Karis and Vampire finding the engage, but the Baron has already evaporated before WE get a chance to walk in the river and contest, and now WE have to be careful. Taeyun is a little far forward, does have Flash and Cleanse, so he's able to shift away from engage range out of Wegbo's hands. You do not want to disrespect an opponent that is up 9,000 gold. If they get in range of you, they're going to be smacking you with a very thick wallet, and that is not a fun place to be.
No, the gold is heavy right now. Breathe actually getting jumped right now. Obviously, Kasante very tanky, going to be able to rejoin his team. And Vampire doesn't actually make it over the wall with that crash down either. Here's the fight.
Oh, Hong finds the flank, and Taeyun is blown up. That's one of the carries gone, and the rest of WE are retreating. Monkey is just going to pop the recall and just try to defend from the remnants of whatever is left of his base. But Wegbo Gaming are going to remind WE, we are not EDG, y'all. We are one of the best teams in this group, and we're trying to make a statement of being one of the best teams in the LPL going into this split. Monkey will at least pop one onto Xiaohu before getting completely dominated by Tien, and GG, well played. Tiebreakers galore, baby.
The MF instead, as these compositions do round out right here. WE, they've got the kind of comp that can play a team fight. They want to play it front to back and then get that initial kill, make it work for Monkey.
Space and control. Grubs is going to be the focus here for WE, and because Karis has push and is playing Talia, will always be able to roam and collapse way before Angel can. So EDG not going to risk throwing a potential lead over to WE this early. They'll cede control of the Grubs for now. And as you said, are now they walking up for it? I guess.
Yeah, at this point, they are going to push forward. It's not actually going to be able to steal any of these away, but they actually get the flash out of Monkey.
Sure.
Just has to go over the back of the pit. So they're going to be trying to use that priority right here to see if they can get a little bit of a gank right here. Wink actually going to be caught out. Takes a big chunk.
Oh, but
wow.
there's the paranoia.
Oh.
Goes right for Monkey, knowing that he's got no way out outside of the Heartbreaker. That's first blood going over to EDG. Bullet time, not a lot of damage, but
wow.
Taeyun falls anyway. Okay. And at least he's able to pick up a double kill before falling to On eventually. And we got an equal game on our hands. Blocks are 2-2. Sir, there's so many things I just want to say right now. But
it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Vampire stepping up there was most certainly questionable, and because you lose so much damage, the ulti, the flash off of your support, there's no way that W can step up into this situation. It is now going to be 3 Grubs going back the other way, 3 apiece, so not the end of the world to lose out onto that one, but WE would have loved to have had extra pressure on a decent chunk of gold once they've started up this Drake. But with Xiaohu nowhere to be seen, not going to be any play back onto this one, and it's now going to be a second Drake picked up for WE. So the Drake,
burst behind that Infernal Soul.
And for now, everybody going to head back to the lanes, just try to keep themselves farming. Really, this game does feel very, very tense. Obviously, it has massive implications, as we've been saying. You don't want to go down. Now available, at least, and that is something Monkey is going to head straight towards.
Just goes to show that, hang on, Cube might have caught out Angel, but Xiaohao pops the paranoia, and Cube realizes that he is no longer welcome to run him down.
Oh.
And Wink with the collapse will ensure that there is no escape for Cube. But meanwhile, on the top side, Monkey and the rest of WE will try to make a cross-map play and take as much advantage as possible, considering that EDG expended quite the many men on the other side of the map.
Yeah, kill and a tower going to be traded over here for just the tower top lane. The Herald will get a second charge, though, onto the tier 2. But still, good damage already being done right here onto the tier 2 by EDG. It feels like WE, they're just behind the play, and losing Cube's life as well makes it that much less worthwhile. In fact, tower actually going to be saved right here. Good ulti out of Anne just to push everybody away from WE.
Oh, CDZ just waiting around the corner for the spring and pounce on the Monkey. Vampire punts him away, but the paranoia now looks for the lone wolf in Taeyun, forced to flash over the wall. ZDZ continues the charge, and a bullet time fully charged will deal a hell of amount of damage, but Monkey tries to get the resets going, and he performs on the Nocturne. Wink trying to hold the line here, and WE might have just found that moment. The Reset City is undeterred, and it is not stopped, and Monkey just gets to be the Viego King on the Rift. EDG lose 4, and WE are starting to come alive.
Set the fight through. Yeah, a couple of members still do fall. It's not a complete disaster for EDG, but they're going to lose themselves the Drake again. And something Monkey's been so good at, both being proactive but also objective control. He's now got that third Drake right here for his team. Sole point for WE off of the back of that win.
In that fight, which now makes them even higher prime targets to be focused down. But WE, they've already done their homework and clearing out the vision line in that top quadrant, so they're just looking it for the Otacon. EDG not punishing at all whatsoever. And it looks like, I guess in the replay, Wink was caught out, which opened up the window as Wink is now just walking back from base. So
as fights go on, the more WE are going to be happy about the outcome. So you can see pressure down right now onto this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Mid lane, no real pressure onto these towers for the minute. I think we're going to have to wait until the Baron spawns in a couple more minutes times for these towers to really start falling with any pace.
Coming up in the next couple of minutes, just trying to fight over this red buff at the moment as ZDZ.
Is he
might be
here?
The paranoia has been engaged upon, but
Oh,
the
that
bullet time,
ulti,
right
the
in
bullet
the
time,
gold!
what?
They can't see that the bullets are ripping them apart. Now it is the Otacon GAs that are being expended. Vampire will give his life to at least escort the remaining members of WE. Not sure.
Yeah, and that's a big tool to now miss out on. I don't know if EDG spotted that. I don't know if they know. Oh, they're going to go right in onto ZDZ. He should just be dead here.
I think he's just going to try to buy as much time and let EDG...
Oh, Angel!
Oh, Taeyun just got sniped up by Angel on the paranoia. Is going to completely blanket out the entire vision control for WE. Bullet time rips through the front lines once again. But they give over a reset over to Xiaohao, or Monkey, I should say. Wink trying to buy as much time as he can with this Magnet Storm, but On is still in the back of the pit trying to see if he can make magic happen. The cleanse, it's not going to be enough. The flash, and Monkey gets to go to town with Reset City once again. No Infernal Soul secured for themselves, but they're getting a massive numbers advantage, and Angel stays too long on the Rift, and WE now have a chance to pick up this Baron instead.
Yeah, they could just head straight towards this one. It's going to be the ace picked up. EDG just crumble in and amongst that team fight. ZDZ gets caught right at the very beginning. Angel evaporates Taeyun, and it just doesn't matter because Cube and Monkey live, and they can live forever with these combo of items right here. These champions heal for so much. ZDZ is returning to this fight. Low health bars. There's a chance he can do something here.
Maybe, but they're so healthy. What is going on? Actually, I can't fault it.
Best start you could possibly ask for a team fight, having the enemy Ambassador killed right at the very beginning, but it just doesn't actually end up mattering in any way. Even after Angel gets the pump. Hang on. Oh, wait.
I'm getting sniped out! Massive seismic shove from WE! Wait a minute, Boxer! Is this it?
Done? Is it done?
It could be! They've
got Baron.
They just killed 3. It's only down to Angel and ZDZ, but this could have just been a series of disastrous throws by EDG, but WE do not waste their moment here as Angel's gonna pop Vampire with the Between the Worlds. Now it is a
20 seconds.
4-on-2. ZDZ and Angel are going to have to pull out a miracle to save EDG
Power
from
one.
going down into group Nirvana. ZDZ trying to dash through all the minions
10
here.
seconds.
But he goes down,
It's
and
done.
WE prove that they're the masters of their own fate. They prevail against EDG, and they grant themselves one more chance to get into Group Ascend.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.